When a congressman or a senator evaluates a public policy, usually in a more simplified scenario like we have here, what happens is that that public policy favors one constituent in that senator or congressman's district and doesn't favor another constituent, maybe in that district or in another region. Now, in an ideal world, or in a world where you have a democracy that's more independent, you want that congressman or senator to evaluate this public policy on its true merits in terms of how it will impact the general public, what type of economics surround that public policy, both in the short term and long term, and what the social impact would be to this public policy. The challenge that happens, though, is that you have money from whatever constituent that's influencing the campaign for this senator or congressman, which essentially means that their career is on the line based on a decision they make, and that decision is based on the amount of influence that's exerted on their campaign. Now, this may be unintentional or intentional, but what happens is that as this public policy is evaluated, instead of just talking about the issues and the data and the impact, what happens is that you have influence with regards to the money involved. And so the more money that can be invested into any one candidate's campaign, the more influence, indirectly or directly, this constituent has on how these elements, general public impact, economic, social impact, are interpreted by that congressman or senator. And when we talk about campaign influence, and when we talk about how a public policy is impacted, what happens is that a public policy can be impacted based on the amendments that that senator or congressman puts in, the type of committee reviews that either go through or not for this public policy, and whether or not this public policy can even reach a floor vote. So there are millions of ways to change or essentially eliminate a public policy from even getting to vote. And what we're hoping for is getting to a place where our democracy spends, or at least minimizes, the amount of time or the amount of influence money has in the equation, so that the public policy itself and the merits it stands on is really what's gauged in terms of whether or not it should go through or not.